Okay, today, Youth Worker Nation, we have on Youth Worker on Fire, Colby Lusignan. And Colby, I've known since he was, I don't know, 9 or 10, I believe it was. He and my son Chris used to play ball together, and his dad used to coach them. And so he's got a long history of baseball. He's getting ready to go to the pros, to go with Marlins. Colby, catch us up.
In high school, obviously, was playing baseball for 2 of the years. I ended up stopping playing my senior year, and went to college for a year after that. Didn't play. I play guitar, and I like photography and stuff like that, so I kind of got into all those kind of things that I never got to do playing baseball my whole life. Realized I missed baseball, so went and hit BP with my brother. My dad was throwing one day and realized that my swing was still pretty much there for the most part, and ended up getting back into ball. Little brother's playing baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to Santa Fe, playing ball. Parents are good. I think Dad wishes he could still be coaching a little bit.
Yeah. Your dad was a good coach.
Yeah.
My son, Chris, loved having you coach. I like to see him coach you guys.
Yeah.
Tell me about being out for a while and then going back in. Obviously, you have some art side to you.
Yeah.
And I got a feeling that means you're left and right brained. I don't know if you are you? You know that for sure?
Yeah.
I have a theory about left and right brain people. That is, you guys don't need anybody else. Number one. Number two, most of the people I know that are left right brain become very successful. My wife is left and right brain. If she was making the money, we'd be very rich right now. But but left and right brain, good thing. In your future, probably good business and with the creative side of life. Yeah. So tell me about getting back into baseball. Your swing was there. Tell me how you did at Santa Fe when you played there, and then Landers.
Like I said, yeah, swing was there. And then just really dedicated myself to the weight room. I graduated in high school. I was a pretty skinny kid, and I was still skinny at the time, and really got in there pretty heavy, started eating. And once I got to Santa Fe, I hit mid-300s both years I was there. Got all-conference team both years, got a couple other accolades. Team-wise, we didn't really do anything. Ended up going to Lander from there, and Lander was probably 2 of the best years I've had playing ball, especially my senior year. The coaching staff up there was awesome. All the guys up there were awesome. My senior year, we ended up going to the College World Series. We came in third. And I had a really good years individually while I was there. So I don't think it could have worked out better for me going to Lander. I mean, I loved every second of it. So.
You think a couple of years off almost helped you more than it hurt you?
I always say it was probably my worst decision.
Yeah.
Obviously, missing your senior year as a high school athlete isn't ideal when it comes to scouting and trying to progress to the next level and stuff like that. I think it made me realize down the road how much I loved it and how much I enjoyed it and how much effort I really needed to put into it. Because in high school, I just kind of showed up to practice and got by on talent or just practice with the team and never really did anything on my own as far as weight room or extra work or anything like that. So I think that time off really kind of opened my eyes to what I needed to do if I wanted to really pursue it and be serious about it.
Yeah. And I've seen you in the weight room. I mean, I knew you when you were thin, and then you hadn't seen you quite a few years, and all of a sudden you'd bulked up. And you do, though, don't you? Have to eat a lot.
I was eating until I couldn't eat anymore, really. I'd go to bed every night super bloated, just didn't even want to look at food.
Right.
And, I was trying to take in 7,000 or 8,000 calories a day, so it was, like I said, eating every hour and a half.
How much muscle do you think you gained, or do you know you gained? How much did you gain?
I was 170 pounds when I graduated high school, and I'm 235-ish now. So. And
that's mostly muscle.
Yeah, for the most part. Just a lot of hours in the weight room and a lot of food.
That's right.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand that. They think, if I just go in the weight room and I just eat right, it's just how much time I put with the weights. And the answer is no. It's your whole life's got to transfer.
No, for sure.
Or transform.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think it's 70% what you eat and 30% diet when it comes to an athlete, or 30% gym when it comes to an athlete. Obviously, you got to eat right for the most part, but it's also having enough to fuel you and sustain your muscles so you're not burning those instead of fat. And there's a lot that goes into it, but I mean, if you get it figured out, it's not too bad.
Yeah, and athletes understand that. Most of us in the average world that are not athletes, or at least especially not going to the college level, you don't understand that you got to fuel the fire. You got to fuel the muscles, and that burns fat. It doesn't grow fat. And people try to starve themselves, and instead they grow fat.
It's counterproductive doing that.
That's right. Who was the biggest influence in your life from middle school to college? What was that one person? I mean, your parents, obviously, they were great people in your life. I know your parents. Was there that one person in high school, middle school, high school, college that just was that coach or that teacher or somebody or some other parent, of a friend? So who was it?
I mean, for me in college, my head coach at Lander, he's one of the best guys I've met, I think, in my life. He's just a pretty incredible guy. Really good family man, really good role model, really good coach. He and I have a really good relationship off the field. It's not just baseball. We're close. I mean, I still text him almost every day now. He's just a really good guy. So for me in college, he's definitely my go-to role model, or I don't know, person that really impacted me. In high school and middle school, I think when I was kind of trying to figure out if I was playing baseball or not, my aunt and uncle were pretty influential in that decision to kind of pursue art, because they're both artists. They work in movies. They're pretty big in that kind of thing. And I think I just looked at them and looked at what they were doing, and their example helped me to realize it was all right to stray away from the baseball path and go do what I thought I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I
at
think
least
that's big.
if you hadn't tried, you would not have known. And a lot
No,
of
for
people,
sure.
they say, oh, I'm going this direction. I really want to do this over here, but, it'll be wrong. So they're afraid and they don't do it.
Yeah.
I think it's very healthy what you did. I don't know if your parents thought that was very healthy.
They were supportive of it.
That's good.
They're like that with me and my brother. I mean, they wouldn't care if we were athletes or not. They just want us to be happy. So they were on board.
That's good.
Yeah.
And supportive family means a lot.
It's huge.
It's going to mean a lot when you're married someday. That wife is, on board with you, and you're on board with her, whatever her pursuits are.
For sure.
And for your kids. But so tell me about, were you planning on going to the pros? Or when did that come up in your brain? Or
I mean, from the time I was little, when I was playing, I obviously wanted to be a big leaguer. I think every little kid that gets into baseball wants to do that. Yeah. So that was the goal when I was younger, and I think all the way into high school I still had that thought until I stopped playing. And then once college came around, I went to Santa Fe, and I kind of realized that I was good enough and that I was not only hanging with the pack but kind of excelling. I thought it was still a potential achievement that I could go for, and I wanted to get drafted out of Santa Fe. I didn't really have any plans of going to college after that, but I'm glad that I ended up going to Lander because I learned a lot about me and had a really great time playing ball, like I said. But
you gained a mentor.
Yeah. I mean, the relationships I gained there, coaches and players. I mean, I can't exchange that for anything in the world. I mean, it was incredible. Yeah. But as far as going to the pros, I mean, I think it's always been a goal or a thought, and once I got back into it in college, that was definitely the goal. I mean, I didn't want to just play again to play. I wanted to really go after something and try and achieve, the ultimate goal. So. Yeah,
and the Marlins. I mean, you're a Florida guy, and to be drafted by the Marlins was had to be a sweet thing.
Pretty cool, man. It's funny because on draft day, there's 3 days of the draft, and I was listening to the first two. The first day is like only the first round, or like the high first round, high second round, and then second day is round 3 through 10 or so, and the third day is the rest of them, so it's like 30 rounds. And we were listening to the draft and watching it and all that kind of stuff, and I just got so tired listening to it. I went into the other room. Was playing FIFA with my brother. I wasn't even listening, and my mom calls me and she's like, "Who just drafted you?" And I'm like, "I don't know, like I'm not even listening." I was like, "You sure it was me?" And a couple minutes later, the guy from the Marlins calls me and he's congratulating me, telling me all this stuff, and it was just funny because I wasn't even listening to it, and I thought my mom heard wrong. But it was a pretty incredible feeling. Like I said, obviously working for it for a long time and getting to share that moment with my family was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. And I think the cool thing is that you were not hanging on every word and just you seem like a laid back guy, but you can't be a laid-back guy in here if you're playing pro ball or playing the ball at the level that you played in college. So there's a fire burning inside, right?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, when I get on the field, I think you have to have the mentality that you're the best one out there, that nobody's gonna beat you, or you can handle whatever's thrown at you. So, I mean, outside of the field, personal life, I'm a pretty laid-back, go with the flow kind of guy. But on the field, I'm pretty business out there.
And that's good because you're storing, not on purpose, but just the way life is for you and the way your personality is. You're able to separate the two, it sounds like. Yeah. And therefore, you're able to basically have energy by the time you get to the fields.
I think you have to keep them separate. Baseball, it's a game of failure, as you know. If you fail 7 out of 10 times, you're going to be in the Hall of Fame. So, you know, you got to kind of keep it in check, keep it in perspective. And whenever I leave the field, I try to just leave whatever happened there, good or bad. I think when you start dragging it along with you, it kind of gets to you. So I try and keep the two things separate and just enjoy both of them separately but equally.
Yeah,
so,
that's good.
Yeah.
That's healthy. You know, that's what this podcast is for, to help people hear different students, different personalities, and understand some things that can help us help others.
Yeah.
Because it's for youth workers of all sorts. And so that's some great information as far as separating things. As youth pastors, as teachers, there's a lot of times it's hard for us to separate, and it becomes very difficult on our families, difficult on our friends.
No, for sure.
Now tell me, what was your worst moment you had up to date in your life? Is there one that you could share?
When I was 15, I lost my Nana as my mom's mom, and that was a pretty tough time for me. She lived with us for a while, and we were really close with her. She was always around. When we lived in Sanford before we moved out here, she was our neighbor. So she was always a pretty big part of the family, so losing her was tough. Obviously, losing anyone is always a tough go, but when it's somebody like that, it was tough for me. And then I think that time in my life where I was just kind of in limbo, not knowing what I wanted to do, just kind of trying to figure myself out. That was kind of a scary and tough time. I think everybody goes through that. It's not the best feeling in the world to just kind of be floating out there trying to figure it out.
Then the loss of a loved one, that magnifies those things.
Absolutely. All those kind of feelings and thoughts and stuff like that come back. You know, it's not an easy thing for sure.
So tell me, what was your worst moment in baseball?
In baseball, I think worst moment in baseball was just dealing with injuries overall.
What kind of injuries did you have?
At Santa Fe, I tore a hip labrum, so I had to get surgery for that going into my sophomore year there. At Lander, I broke my hand my junior year.
So getting ready for the pros. Okay?
Yeah. I mean, leading into it.
What I'm saying, you get through injuries because of the pros. There's going to be injuries.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It makes you question if you're going to be able to get back, if you're going to be the same, all those kind of things. And then, again, I think it's important to keep a level head and realize stuff like that happens. You just got to try and roll with it. But
why didn't you give up?
I mean, I think the route that I took has a lot to do with it. Obviously, I've been out of it and come back before, so for me, it was like, whatever, this is just a little stint. And I was out for 2 years, and I was fine. So for me, that was kind of a good perspective. And again, it was just trying to see it through to the end. I'm not really much of a quitter or anything like that. When I set my mind, I tend to go for it. So injuries, like I said, just kind of try and roll with them. It's obviously tough, and you want to get down on yourself, but you got to just keep rolling with it.
Guys who have not, and ladies who have not gone through high school sports, at least college sports for sure, and the pros, if they haven't been in any of those levels, they don't get what you said.
No,
their thing was you had the first operation, it's over.
Yeah.
That, in the average person's mind.
Yeah.
Why wasn't it over?
I don't know. I mean, like I said, I think it's just staying focused and keeping it in perspective.
Was that a hard rehab?
For the hip, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, for the hip, it was tough. I was in bed for a few weeks, not really able to move at all. I had to miss the sophomore showcase at Santa Fe with that, which is like all the scouts and college scouts come and they scout all the players and see who can get picked up. So I was bummed about missing that. Obviously, I didn't get that exposure. When
you can have more failures than wins and still be at the top of the heap, then 7 out of 10 losses are only hitting 3 out of 10 times.
Yep. Like I said, it's just one of those things that's going to happen when you're an athlete, and you just got to try and keep that in check.
Life is that way too. If we saw life that way more, a lot more people would succeed.
Yeah.
Injuries are going to happen, disappointments are going to happen, hurt, failure is going to happen. In baseball, great life game. Everybody talks about that.
Absolutely.
Makes you a Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer.
That says something about life. It's all the losses and just hanging on because the win's coming. Tell me your best moment in life.
Best moment in life? I think probably getting drafted, honestly.
What was that emotion like when you realized this is happening and you're on the phone with the Marlins?
It didn't set in, honestly, until I reported for mini camp, and honestly, a couple weeks after being there, I'm looking around at the locker room and all that kind of stuff. I'm wearing Marlins gear, and I'm like this is it. Like it's actually happening. Draft day, just being on the phone with them and celebrating with my family, it was surreal. It was like, again, it didn't really set in. My dad's like, "How's it feel?" Whatever. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, again, it just seemed like I was dreaming or it wasn't real.
And that's a good, honest answer.
Yeah.
I mean, I think more people are like that than not.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know that it's okay to be that way.
Yeah.
I guess I'm supposed to feel some other way. No,
Mm-hmm.
no, it's really the way you feel is the way you should feel.
Yeah.
And what you have to deal with and see that. And I think it is a stunner sometimes when we get what we've actually gone for.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times the road is very tough to get there.
Absolutely. Yeah, just the ultimate goal being achieved, and like I said, being at home with my family, it was a really good experience.
What's one thing you wish people, teachers, coaches, pastor, youth pastor, somebody in your life would have told you when you're getting ready to leave high school? What's that one thing you wish they had said to you?
I think just that it's all right to not know what you want to do. I think a lot of the time when you're a kid or growing up or trying to make plans for college, people always ask you, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? What are your expectations? And a lot of times, kids don't know. I mean, I didn't know. I was
Most
all over the
kids
map.
don't
Yeah,
know.
exactly. And I think that can be scary for somebody, getting ready to go to college or even just going through high school or something like that. So I think that would have been some beneficial advice if somebody was just like, it's all right to just not know, go figure it out. So,
You had a great mentor in college.
Mm-hmm.
So was there one thing that he said before you left? And if not, what do you wish somebody had said to you before you finished college? That year?
I mean, Coach Smith said a lot of good things. His meetings with us, he always just spoke from the heart and didn't have a script or anything like that. So a lot of his messages and deliveries were again pretty heartfelt. He would always hug us and tell us he loved us, and I think.
How weird was that? Was it weird at first? Because I mean that's a great coach thing.
Yeah.
But to some people, they find it hard to receive something like that.
For me, it was all right because I mean I played for my dad, and obviously he tells me those things. My family's very very open and close, so that for me was okay. I mean I thought it was great, honestly, having that dynamic between players and coach. So I mean I thought that was a really good way to be. I'm sure
that is an unusual dynamic. By the way.
For sure.
That doesn't happen everywhere.
No, I haven't had a coach like that aside from my dad. But like I said, Coach Smith, he was top of the line. I mean, I loved playing for him. I love him as a person. So I think more than a message or one thing he said, I think just his overall character and the way he carried himself and the example that he kind of showed us how to be a good dad, how to be a good coach, good person. I think that kind of stick with me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, and those things do. There's people in my middle school, high school years that I remember as clearly as a few weeks ago because of the impact.
Yeah.
Those things. So that's important. So, any final thoughts that you want to share with people about, where you think you're going to go from here? Well, in fact, tell me the process before you hit the what do they call it, the big show?
Yeah, the show.
Show.
Well, Marlins have a bunch of affiliate minor league teams. When you get drafted, nobody really goes straight to the big team. Everybody has to work their way up. A lot of people don't get that about baseball. They were texting me, like, what number are you going to be? Can I get tickets? All this kind of stuff. I'm like, I won't be on that team. So they have rookie ball, then they have low A, they have regular A, high A, and then double A, and then triple A, and then you're in the show.
Yeah.
So last year I was in rookie ball and in low A. So this year I'm planning on being in regular A or high A potentially. If I could end up in double A by the end of it, I would be really happy with where I was sitting at. But it's a process. But I mean, I can't complain or anything like that. I'm playing a kid's game for a job. So, I mean.
Great perspective. Some of the greatest pros said, you know what, we know it's only a game.
Yeah, that's it. Like I said, it's a kid's game. We're fortunate enough to be making some money and playing it as a job. So, I got nothing to say about it that's negative.
Right. That's good. That's good. Any way that people can get? Oh, is there a book or a movie or something like that you'd recommend to people that you're kind of into now that inspires you, or any kind of periodical, something?
My mom had me read The Alchemist. That was a pretty solid book. Kind of gives you some insight on controlling yourself and the things around you. I think it's a pretty good one to read. And then there's a book I think it's called Cleaner or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't really remember the title of it, but it's all about sports psychology and how to control your mind, control your body, keep things in check. And it's all about more so strengthening the mental side of your game than the physical side. And I think you can apply a lot of it to life, not only a sport or baseball or whatever. And I mean, I'll have to get back to you with the title of it.
Yeah,
'cause
that's
I
okay.
completely
That's
forgot
all right.
it.
I didn't
But-
know the book, so that's good to know.
No, it's a really good one.
Yeah. Any movie you like?
Movie. Honestly, Notebook's a pretty good one.
Yeah, really? So
Yeah.
that's your art side.
Yeah.
That's that the emotional side,
Little
isn't it?
sensitive side, yeah.
Yeah.
Notebook's a good one, and I'm a huge fan of all the Marvel stuff, superhero movies.
All the girls, all of a sudden, now you're going to want his number. I know. Notebook. Okay, go ahead. And what else?
All the Marvel stuff, all the superhero
Yeah,
movies.
okay.
Those are all
Yeah.
good ones.
I have a friend. I was so shocked. I said, "Well, how do you get prepared for?" He's in charge of 16 universities programs from a thing called Crew.
Okay.
And I said, number one, I do 1,600 universities. But the second thing was, what do you like to watch? And he said, I like to watch the Karate Kid. I said, what? He said, yeah, the Karate Kid. He said it's a perfect mentor, discipleship type program to learn from. I said, oh, okay, all right. So that's great. Marvel, I love Marvel. I think it's they're some of the best movies out now.
I think so too.
Is there any way that people can get in touch with you if they want to say hi?
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Colby Lusignan.
Spell Lusignan for them, for those who don't know you.
Lusignan. If you just want to shoot me a message or follow me, whatever you want to do, I'm open to
Instagram,
talk to you.
Facebook, which one's better?
Either or.
Either
It
or?
doesn't matter. Yeah,
Which one's your favorite?
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah.
There you go. Me too. All right. So, Colby, thank you so much for being here today on Youth Worker on Fire. Youth Worker Nation, we're out. Tune in next week.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.